Hey, what's up? Ayodele Harrison here, Senior Partner of Education and Director of BMEs Talk. Back again for another month in review. Let's just hop right in. Brave space building, gratitude, feelings, and intentions. Gratitude. I am grateful this past July 23rd, my wife and I celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary. Yep, our 10 years together, and just really grateful for that. She marked the occasion by doing a 10-day countdown social media campaign, sharing stories about how we met and just, how our life has been going together. And it was really good to see old photos and to be engage with that and see like, oh, okay, that was 10 years ago or 11 years ago when we met. And so just having those stories and sometimes, just hearing those stories and talking through it and working with her to get the story correct, I guess you would say, on various incidences and situations that happened throughout our dating, throughout our wedding planning, and then also throughout the last 10 years that we've been together. So just grateful that we were able to celebrate that. And that leads me into how I'm feeling. I'm feeling hopeful. I hope for another 10, 15, 20 years until death does us part of a healthy and growing relationship with my wife. So I'm hopeful for that. I'm also feeling very joyful. The past few months have been really good in terms of really growth and thinking and brainstorming and strategizing, and just, that has brought me to a joyful place because some ideas have begun to surface and are going to be, I was going to say caramelized, but crystallized, so that we can really create and continue to make the impact on the communities that we so desire. So that's gratitude and feelings. And so my intentions today are to be as fully present and to communicate effectively just what's been happening in education in the space, working with CommunityBuild Ventures. With that, I am complete. So you can go ahead in just a moment. You're going to share, you can pause the video and share your gratitude, feelings, and your intentions for being in this space today. And then once you're done with that, you can say I'm complete. All right, so welcome back. Here, thank you for taking a moment to engage in brave space building. So what's been going on? So, I took a moment in preparation for this video, was just kind of going back through. I couldn't think of what was happening in July. What's been going on? And so the best way that I can review that is going back through my calendar. And I'm going to pause with that because I realized I want to say this. It is the day of this recording is July 27th. And what that means here is I'm based here in the South. Schools are coming back. Teachers are beginning to re-enter buildings for teacher planning. The new teacher orientations are coming up. All of those things are starting to happen. So school is getting back into the swing. Yeah, that's right. It's back into the swing. And so you've read the news and you can anticipate that there's going to be a whole bunch of new things that are happening this year. For some students, this will be the first time that they will have been in a school building, particularly and specifically in a classroom in maybe a year and a half. There's a lot that's unexpected. There's a lot of uncertainty. And so one thing that I wanted to encourage us to do was exercise self-compassion. So self-compassion, as defined by Emory University's CBCT program, which is a compassion-centered mindfulness program, they define self-compassion as an abiding attitude of kindness towards oneself. An abiding attitude of kindness towards oneself. And so when we say exercising self-compassion, what does that look like? How do we have kindness or hold an attitude of kindness towards ourselves? Well, one practice that we have within the CBCT curriculum, which I teach, is embracing the truth that things are constantly changing and are not 100% in my control. So that's how we operationalize self-compassion, embracing the truth that things are constantly changing and are not 100% in my control. Can you imagine how that might be beneficial as we move into the school year starting up again? So exercising compassion, I invite you to learn more about that. Dr. Kristen Neff has done a lot of research on self-compassion. I teach a course on it, but just wanted to give you a bit and say, hey, just encourage you to exercise it that way. All right, so now I want to get into the month in review. So, as I said before, I think I might have said this. As I said before, um, went back through my calendar, did a bit of review and trying to see what was going on. And so I realized that there was 2 speaking engagements that I had this year. So Mr. Amir Davis from the Center for Black Educator Development, which is a center that's based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, here in the US, that is really about fighting addressing inequities in our schools. And so one of their focus in their name is on Black educators, and they actually have a specific component of their work that's really looking at supporting Black males in schools, but then also Black males in education. And so they invited me on to participate in a focus group. They were thinking about, hey, we want to develop this 3 to 5 year, strategic plan about how we're going to support Black men in education specifically. And they wanted to have a conversation. So what they did was convene me and a few other fellas in these focus groups to have these conversations, to share the work that they're doing and talk about what the work we individually are working on, and how what ways they might begin to develop their strategy around supporting Black men in education. So that was really a great conversation. It's really good to be able to get on a Zoom call and connect with brothers who care very deeply about Black men in education and want to see them thrive and reach their full potential within the field of education. So it was great to have a conversation with them. And then more recently, Jason B. Allen from Ed Atlanta invited me on to his Facebook Live series, Atlanta, #Atlanta, and to have a conversation about supporting Black men in education. So many of the speaking engagements were around supporting Black men, what can teachers do, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that came up in the interview with Jason was he was asking, in what ways can teachers support their Black male teacher colleagues? And I thought that was a great question, because so many people talk about how does the school district, the system, the school leader, but also teachers have a role in providing quality support to Black male educators, because they're colleagues, they see them, there's a more day-to-day interaction that they have with them. And the one thing that I shared with Jason in the community was, be a good colleague, be a good teammate. And what that means is, simply put, do your job, right? And do it well. And so it's to really make sure that you continue to grow your practice so that you are building the classroom culture, prepared for work each day, doing those things so there doesn't become an undue burden or stress that we place on Black men in our building. So let's say a common occurrence within buildings is that, well, Black men have in education have developed certain relationships with Black boys throughout the school. And when some incident happens to the boy somewhere else on campus, they're sent to that Black male educator to connect, to calm down, to really begin to work through some of the things. And many times that Black male educator is in the middle of something. They are teaching. They have their set of 32, 25 kids that they're working with, and now they have this additional person that's coming in. Now, they most likely are open, have open arms and want to welcome that child, but it is an undue stress. It's increased stress because now they have to not only work on doing their job with their kids, but then also manage the student that has just entered their room. That is just one example. And so if as teachers, we are getting better at the way that we create classroom culture, we support students across our building, we're going to not put as much stress on to Black males. And that's a great way to be able to support them. So I encourage you to check out that conversation that I had with Jason. Again, it was on Facebook. You just type in Ed Lanta, Lanta, and check out his work and check out that. It was about 30 minutes that were on there for that. The rest of the month, when I was looking back and thinking about stuff, was really like, I had a lot of meetings, a lot of partnership exploration. Had a conversation with a few universities about partnering to do work with Black men in education that are student teachers, that are aspiring teachers. Had conversations about change management and some partnerships that are coming up with an international organization to be able to really lead in that change management space in terms of bringing in equity-centered school improvement to international schools and some other private schools. So just really had a number of conversations, just kind of feeling out. And as a consultant, that's a lot. That's a large part of my time, is really engaging people and sharing with them the work that we've done at CBV and the work that we hope to do specifically in the education space. So I look back and saw, I feel like I had at least 3 to 4 meetings a week on top of the other work that was to be done. But it's always good to be able to reach out and share more and more with the community and with potential partners to see how we can continue to collaborate to really address the inequities that our students, teachers, staff, parents, families, and communities are facing on a daily basis. And so that's the work that we do. If you want to explore how CBV might be able to support you, go ahead and click the link below. Let's schedule a time, a 30-minute conversation to see how we might be able to support you in the goals and the visions that you have for the school learning community that you lead in with that. So that's been going on. And so the resource of the month, right, that I'll have is earlier this month, on our website, on the blog page, I released a blog entitled "When the Blacks Get Together, All Students Benefit." And so in the blog, I talk about how, the work of BMEs Talk and creating these spaces to for Black men to connect, grow, and lead was really important. And I knew that it would have a positive impact on our students, right, and on their learning. The thing is, I was searching for evidence of that. Like I felt that, and then I felt that in my spirit, and then anecdotally hearing from the Black men who participated, how it's valued. And so in this piece, what I do is talk about a recent report that the Black Teacher Project had released, and Dr. April Grice Warren was the researcher on this, and basically interviewed 101 affinity group leaders for educators from around the country, around the US, and really start to see like, what are the benefits, what's happening in these racial affinity groups that are existing, such as BMEs Talk. And they lifted up all this information about what the educators who are consistently involved in, what they're taking away. And in this article, what I talked about is based upon what educators of color, specifically when I'm speaking Black men, when they engage BMEs Talk, what are they then able to lift and take back to their classroom and be able to experience, and how do students actually benefit? So in this blog piece, I talk about the ways that they all benefit, that connect to some of the national things that we want to see is enhanced delivery of social emotional learning, SEL. We want to see culturally responsive teaching that's happening, but we want our teachers to stay. So I talk more in a bit of detail in that blog. So I'll put that link here as well, so that you can read that particular article. And so that was the month of July, just busy, speaking engagements, meetings, celebrating my wedding anniversary, writing blogs and doing all that. So it's been busy. And also getting together and setting up for this big launch in late July and August. So BMEs Talk. School, as I said before, school is starting. So that means the BMEs Talk the community activities are live and going. So I wanted you to know that, well, probably by the time you see this, because today's the 27th, today, July 27th, launched the 5th season of the BMEs Talk Twitter chat. And so we've been around for 5 years. We've been 5 years engaging Black men and Black men in education and a broader community of educators on Twitter with our weekly Tuesday night chat throughout the school year. So season 5 starts tonight, the recording of this video, at BMEs Talk on Twitter. That's the handle where you'll see that. But it's a space where we're able to really engage and have conversation in a very public forum around issues, concerns, challenges, growth areas. It's just engaging Black men in education and conversation about being Black men, being humans, and also being Black men who are working in the field of education. So please, if you're a Black male educator, join us every Tuesday night from here on out for the most part, except for a few holidays, but starting July 27th, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. on Twitter, we'll be there. If you're not a Black male educator, you can still join in. You can still watch the conversation, retweet and like. We just ask for you, we just ask that you not actually comment during the Twitter chat that we have, because we're just holding the space for Black men, but you can come and watch, celebrate, like, and retweet and give shout outs with that. And so the other thing, so that's starting July 27th. August 11th, say that with me, August 11th, the BMEs Talk virtual happy hour is back. That's right. We get together, it's usually about 20 to 30 Black men from across the country come together on Zoom, and we just hang out. We have laughs, we just connect, we just plug in, you know. And one of the brothers who joined us, JT, I've said before, it's a breath of fresh air. It's a chance to spread their wings in this community. And so it's a free opportunity. All we ask for you to do is to register. If you go to our website, bmestalk.com, and you click on the affinity space, the happy hour button, you'll be able to get in there and register. It's free. Once you register, you will get the Zoom link so that you can put it in your calendar reminder. But that will be August 11th. The BMEs Talk virtual happy hour is back. And then, as I've announced before, we're getting ever so close. We're marching closer to the fall 2021 cohort for the BMEs Talk Leadership Lab. Registration is now open. The Leadership Lab is coming back. We have 4 dynamic sessions planned over from late September on through November. The great thing about the Leadership Lab is there's a lot of uncertainty coming into this year, but the one certain thing that BMEs Talk that we decided, my team decided, is that we are going to be with you and have a convening space from late September, early November, which we know is going to be some of the most challenging time of the school year. We wanted to design a space for Black men to be able to, in education, to be able to come in, connect, restore, do some learning together. And what we say is, it's a space to be heard, to feel energized, and to inspire others. That's the goal of this work. Again, bmestalk.com, you click on leadership development, you'll be able to learn more about the professional development, what are the takeaways, what are the objectives, and then also purchase your tickets that are there. Those tickets are for a fee, the Leadership Lab that's there. And so that's really what's been happening. I'm just excited about school being started. I'm excited about my daughter's actually starting a brand new school. So that's, bringing its own excitement. They have uniforms and she's kind of complaining. But anyway, we know that August is going to be a wonderfully full month of engagement. School starting back in session, our kids are going, but then all these other engagements. Please make sure you stay connected with us. If you have interest in learning more about our equity-centered school improvement, click the link, schedule a time so that we can talk about how we can begin to align and figure out a strategy to ensure that the school communities are really addressing the inequities that the school community is facing with that. If you'd like to think about and strategize on how we're going to effectively support Black men in education throughout this school year, I'm your guy. Go ahead and click the link, schedule a time and meet. But just want to thank you for taking a moment to listen to this review and to this preview of what's to come. I wish you all the best in this month, and I'll see you online. I'll see you in email, but definitely we'll see you back here next month for the next video. I wish you well. Take care.